Well, hey guys, here's Anne Kloppenborg with the evtv-Amsterdam update. This week we're back with a vengeance, as last week we were missing in action on the way to pick up the Delta for a show and tell on show day. We had a little accident with the old Ice-Saroo, the Ice Car Subaru. I was gonna park and get a little sandwich on my way when out of nowhere jumps this stationary object, ducks into my wheel well, and completely snaps off the wheel strut. So we were stuck further from Amsterdam than we needed to be, and really couldn't get back to the shop in time to give you all the update. I really missed doing it though, because we had a lot of stuff, and let's play catch up right now. Before we start with all the other updates, I want to tie into what Jack was saying on this week's blog. There really seems to be a big uptick in interest for what all we're doing here. Can a day go by that without the phone, the email, or people just at the door coming by and checking out what we have going on? It seems the world has really decided that electric is fun and cool, and they're really surprised that we're doing it already. So people drop by and their eyes just basically roll out of their heads when they see boats, the cars, the batteries, the motors, things flying around, things are going fast on the YouTubes. People are getting very excited, and I'm very excited with them because I think we've got a lot of cool stuff coming up. So let's have this week's update, and what do we got in store? Right now, we are in the shop, but we can't really get the whole studio set up going. There's just too much stuff here. Why is all this stuff here? Well, that Better Place shipment you've been hearing me talk about for eons and eons, I got a chance to open up that container and take a look what's inside. There it goes.
Volgens mij heeft er iemand zitten slapen.
HVVS motors. Here they all are. 10 Better Place packs all lined up. The first 5 will be going to Ireland and UK. The next 5 are coming with us to the Amsterdam warehouse for distribution here in Holland. Then behind those packs we have hiding HVVS and Siemens motors and a large supply of EVTV components for the warehouse, such as fuses, DC-DC converters, chargers, and all that other good stuff we're gonna need to feed the EV army.
Doet u misschien een kopje koffie? Oh, lekker.
Better Place battery packs by way of Missouri, USA. Now in Amsterdam to find their final better resting place. 5 Better Place packs and 2 pallets. And there go 3 Better Place packs. So that was a lot of stuff, and thankfully most of it's gone already. I've got about a third, maybe a fourth of it here in the shop ready for different projects, and I can't even get to my own green screen right now between conversion projects and stuff that needs to be shipped out in pallets and boxes. So besides all those batteries, we also had a lot of Siemens motors in there. We needed one for the 818, we needed one for the Jeeparoo, and to get both of those things going here in Europe, we needed to take a demo setup to the TuV in Reinland. No, the TuV Reinland in Lake, actually. Let's check out what happened there. Well guys, we're here at TuV Reinland, and we're about to start our first EMC EMF testing sequence on test day 1. We have our Siemens DMOC JevQ setup with a, representative for car environment and a little bucket for cooling the controller. And she'll do some continuous idling here while the guys from TuV Reinland poke around and see what emissions she is susceptible to and or gives out to the environment. So let's see what the setup does. Have a good time, little motor. See you back when the door opens. So here we have the output of the tests, and we see our motor spinning on the camera. And probably we'll start getting some of our values for interference here. First, it's coffee time. Well, that's the box where our Siemens is doing its thing. So, running the immunity tests, we notice that the GevQ does have some susceptibility to different frequencies coming in, giving some response on either throttle or noise emission levels. Not quite sure what it means yet, as the tests are still running. But at least we do have a Wi-Fi extender out from the box through an antenna and out to the laptop, so we can see that our throttle is more or less stable. And there we go. All the antennas are going from vertical to horizontal to see on that band if there's more susceptibility. After first measuring what effect different frequencies have on the function of the GevQ, DMOC, and Siemens, now the test is what emissions the set makes itself, and if this could affect other devices in its presence. So first input testing, now output testing. And this is the sound of no emissions. So basically, by taping up the GevQ and the connective cables, we were able to eliminate all interference from outside to in. Pretty good. Now let's put that into production. So that was our very first test day. They allow you to come and bring in your equipment in a certain representative setup, and then on test day it is so that you can actually still make adjustments on the fly if you find out, certain bandwidths of interference or any other kind of problem that you might get. You really simulate in short runs all the tests that then go into a 2-day cycle for the official certification. This way you don't pay the big bucks until you're sure, or more or less confident, that you'll actually pass the test and get the certification going. So the good news on test day was that even though we had to do a very slight little modification as expected, shielding some of the cables going to and from the GevQ and DMOC, after that slight modification, really the main core components, the motor and controller, were built to spec, to European automotive spec is what they were really made for, and they sure showed it because they passed with flying colors. The guy at TV was, he said he was really disappointed but happy for us, but there's nothing for him to do on that account, and he's seen it be very different. So our hunch that using already automotive compliance stuff for an automotive compliance test would kind of work out turned to be true. So hey, that's pretty good for this set, and promises a lot of good for the projects we have going. So we better pass that test and see then what we can do with the Jeep that I'm sitting in and I can introduce to you just now. So the state of affairs on this sunny day. The Siemens is just back from playing Testeroo at TuV Reinland. 818 is waiting for a Siemens set to come back from the transmission guys, have it all coupled up. Our Delta is waiting for Daddy to get some time for another play day. And here's Ray taking apart the 1969 Jeep CJ5, probably known as the Wrangler in the States. How's it going?
Also a new nightmare.
Yay! More work for the guys.
A lot of rusty bolts, but almost there. to split the engine from the transmission.
Yep.
So tomorrow is the day.
Tomorrow the beast is loose. For today,
But a lot happened already. So.
big job day. Check it out.
On this spot.
Ja, namelijk.
Ja.
Oké.
En hier heb ik deze losgemaakt. Wauw.
So, after, let's call it a day's work, right? I mean, yesterday was a half day and today's like not even afternoon yet. And she's out. Classic 4-cylinder.
Here's,
there she goes, and there we have our clutch and pressure plate set up.
So we have
flywheel.
to remove.
So we'll take the flywheel off and I'll take it to speed on later today,
Yeah.
together with the Siemens and maybe even this bell housing collar, because I think it comes right off as well. It's not the transmission, it's just the bell housing collar that we need. So all in all, the Jeep, which is known as a relatively easy engine disassemble, is really not bad for a 1969 vehicle. A couple of bolts that gave you some trouble and that was about it, right?
Yeah, you've got a lot of space, so
Yeah.
that helps a lot.
Time to pack in some lithium. Cool. Jeep project, day 2. So this is our first commissioned conversion, guys. The dream of the EV shop converting cool vehicles for cool customers is commencing. I've seen a lot of other shops complaining that it's really hard to pull off any kind of margin on all the extra hours that go into custom making different stuff for these conversions. I'm very thankful we have a relatively bare bones kind of car here. You know, basically it's sticking something that makes it move, and she's finished again. There's no real climate controls to speak of. There's not a lot of modern conveniences. This is definitely a pre-1970 kind of car. It should also help with the other aspects of certification, as there's not too many what they call permanent requirements of these kind of cars. She's a real old-timer. But, you know, all in all, we'll probably run into quite a few problems, like where to put the batteries, since we don't have those really space-effective new cam cells yet, and we're going to be using CA cells on this conversion. We'll, you know, have to hunt for spaces and make them where they're not, but we'll keep you updated on this project. But it's not all just conversions here in Amsterdam. It is time that we took you out and showed you Jack's new Delta, or 356 Speedster of the water, as she may become once she arrives in the States. For now, I had to go up to Middenmeer and visit Dick Gilles at Gilles Botenbouw and see what he's up to with the new Delta. Let me introduce to you the Delta 2. So Dick, tell me in English, how are you pressing your will onto this raw aluminum?
Well, the aluminium doesn't have a will.
No.
I do.
You do.
And when we started with the frame. And the frame is just two-dimensional, and to make a three-dimensional part of it. And then the sheets are going over the frame, and that's a bit more difficult. But that's what we're doing now. And especially in the back, there's a lot of pressure, because there's a lot of shape in the sheeting. And you've got to use all the skills like using clamps, like using the heat of the torch by welding the sheet part by part together, and then it shrinks after welding because it becomes very hot, and then it shrinks towards the place you want to have it. So, and when it's all spot welded, then we are going to finish welding it, right. And then we are going to make the real structure. And then you put the boat exactly on size and exactly on level, and then it becomes a boat.
Right. And right now you're working on getting the side plates mated to the rear transom plate.
Yeah.
By pushing and prodding, and once you have some of these holder welds in place, you can start pushing along the line, and then when the line starts filling up, you'll make these closer spot welds together.
That's right. When you look at the inside, you can also see that here there's still a little bit of a difference between the inside corners of the sheeting.
Yes.
And there we have put all those inside corners together.
Right.
And there's hardly a difference anymore. And that means that the sheeting is on its place.
And ever closer towards the top. The shape starts coming out. And not just aluminum two-seat racers are being built here in Middenmeer, but also this large aluminum working craft. And though for now a big Volvo Penta D3 220 horsepower is planned, in some near future, workships like these will be outfitted with our electric motors. Maybe first with some range extending gen sets, and then as battery tech gets better, these boats will be full electric, just like the Delta TuV. Man, she is looking good. You know, to come from a existing shape and through the process of the last 2 years, all the fun we're having with Delta 1 on the water right now, and then to see Delta 2 or Speedster arise from paper into a 3D shape you can touch and see coming together. It's a really exciting process, and I think I'm going to have a hard time letting her go. I'm glad I'll get to visit her this summer, and it's going to be really exciting to see where this new project takes us. There's not that many ready-to-go electric boats, especially in the high power segment, that are going around right now. I mean, a guy wants a new electric car or a custom-made electric car. There's some options out there, and there's some companies working really hard to add to that list. Motorcycles, same deal. But, you know, electric speedboats, a couple of the big brands have, you know, an electric offering, but it always seems to be about 2-3 years out on the horizon, and battery tech is not really there yet. We know battery tech is pretty much there, guys, if you have the right kind of, you know, the right kind of application, the right kind of boat, lightweight, light frame, and a runabout. You can really do what a runabout's meant to do, which is a day of fun on our current tech. So no reason not to have that offering out there, and it's going to be very exciting being the ones to deliver. That's about it for this week. I've got a whole lot of fun with the old Delta in the sun that we'll save for next week and get you some numbers on that. For now, know that here in Amsterdam, we're going to keep building, and I hope you guys keep building, and we'll see you soon.